Welcome to the In the Arena podcast. My name is Jared Miguez, a co-host on this podcast that brings you the inspiring stories of our clients who are leaders and innovators across different industries in Southeast Louisiana. They are visionary entrepreneurs, savvy real estate professionals, media creators, military business owners, and community champions. And we are going to showcase the remarkable achievements and share their personal stories. Tune in for insightful conversations, valuable lessons, and motivational stories that are going to reveal their secrets to success and offer you insights to help you on your own path. Welcome to In the Arena Podcast. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
We have some great friends today, Sarah and Sarada.
S&S.
Yep.
Yes.
And then I have my partner, Lauren, here as our co-host today. And we're going to talk about our community. We're going to talk about the purpose of nonprofits. And we're going to talk about some really cool events that you'll have coming up. And we'll kind of leave that as a cliffhanger because I'm really excited about the what we look forward to every year. We have family coming in for the Bluesberry event. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But I want to talk a little bit about, because I know people see you two in the community everywhere they go. I mean, like if there's something in Covington, y'all are going to be involved in it. And I know you used to stuff in Mandeville too. So I want to tell people more about y'all's story. And so people know where you're from because they can talk to you and know where you're from.
Queen of England.
But let's start with Sarada. And, your family has been rooted here for a long time. Your husband's a public servant for the community. Your daughters are here. Your daughter used to work for me. She's near and dear to my heart. So, what's your story? Where'd you grow up? Where are you from? And what did you do after college that was so cool?
Sure. Okay. So I was raised in Dallas, and I think most everybody that knows me knows my mom. My mom was an entertainer. Mm-hmm. She opened for Elvis for 2 years, and Buddy Holly played backup for her on her first ever demo, which was really cool.
That's awesome.
It was amazing to grow up with that, although, sometimes mixed emotions. Being raised by an entertainer is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But then I moved to Louisiana. And
how old were you?
22.
Okay, you're 22 years old.
Yeah. And
She moved here by choice.
I moved here by choice. Listen to so this is what I did. I came here for Mardi Gras. I ended up staying for 2 weeks. Did not want to leave.
Yeah.
I loved it. I fell in love with the music, the architecture, the people. Just, you know what? You go to the grocery store in Dallas and the girl at the checkout counter is constantly just never looks up, right?
Yeah.
Went here and the girl knew my whole entire life story before I got my bags. And I was like, this is where I want to make my home.
Yeah. It's when you smile, you can just smile at the person behind the register and they're going to start speaking back to you. And I'll bring my kids to the line and they'll want to interact with you. And you don't get that in other places.
You don't. And people that are born and raised here don't understand that is not what it's like in a Dallas or a Houston or something that's a little more transient.
Yeah.
So, I just wanted to be here and got into real estate shortly after that. And that scenario, I was in real estate for 20 years and worked for Keller Williams for a short period of time and have always done events. So for 30 years, I've done events of some sort. Yeah. And Three Rivers came about.
First, before Bluesberry.
Three Rivers I've had for about 15 years. Wow. The founders of the festival actually laid the groundwork so well that when I took it over, it was just such an easy transition. Sure. So that was cool. And then Bluesberry.
Yeah, before we get into those two festivals, I want to go back to it because when I first met you, you had talked about writing a book for a long time.
Right. So my first book was published in 2013. Okay. So that was Notes of Forgiveness, and that was about my mom, her journey. I actually lost my mom to addiction. So the book is Notes of Forgiveness. Yeah. A daughter's journey and a mother's gift. So it is a Christian book.
And then was that the same one that it has your mom on the front of it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And I know that your mom's a big part of your life. When did you join the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So no, I was a Texas girl.
Texas girl.
Totally different.
What's the difference?
So the difference is the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders cheered at a Dallas Cowboy game.
Gotcha.
And Texas girls did all the other stuff.
Gotcha.
So Texas bikini team, and we did like soccer events and grand openings for people. You name it, we did it. But yeah.
That was before you moved to Louisiana.
That was before I moved to Louisiana.
Professional promo girl.
Yeah.
In the state of Texas. That's what it is.
That is exactly what it was. We did a poster. It was just a lot of fun. But we got to meet a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm
sure. Kid Craddock was actually my first radio show ever. So I got to go fly in a helicopter with Kid. That did not end well. Just so you know.
Well, you survived. I mean, you're here.
Well, I am here, but I don't know if the pilot wants to be here. That was really bad. I get really bad air sickness. It was God, it was just crazy.
Yeah,
but
that's cool. Yeah. So, and then you moved here, you got into real estate, and we met, right when you had kind of transitioned out of a role at another title company, and that was right when I started, and we became really good friends and been doing business together ever since.
Yes, we were competitors. Yeah. So, but good competitors.
No, we talk about it all the time.
Collaboration.
One thing I always respected about you was that you were open to collaboration, and I take that same sentiment going forward now. And the person who's in the role you were in at the title company you were at, her and I were together at a festival last weekend, and we were talking and hanging out. We were giving each other ideas, and
I love that.
Yeah, and it's just that spirit of in a small community of knowing that there's enough to go around, that we're supporting each other is a big deal, and I always respect
necessary
that about
for
you.
growth.
Yeah, and I mean, you made that mark on me early on, because it's not like that in our industry. A lot of people are cutthroat and they don't want to be friends with other people, but we found that it works better the other way.
It really does, and that saddens me that the community as a whole is that way, like in real estate in general. I believe that collaboration is 100% the way that you move forward. Hand up always. You never know who you're going to hit on the way down, and that is just.
I think people are getting the memo, because people who are highly competitive and tough are realizing, and they're spending more time with other people, which is a big deal. And again, it goes into what we're talking about today too, when it comes to supporting our community in general. We all can come together and make our community a better place. They can provide more opportunities for us as a whole, and that's what y'all are doing with these events. It brings people together, and that's what I love about it.
And we support other festivals. I mean, that's what we're stronger together.
Mm-hmm.
That's the core of it.
Yeah, you have different purposes. Yeah,
absolutely. It's like we don't compete against other festivals. We support them. We embrace all the festivals, all the things that are going on. There are other events on the same day as us. We're like, we don't own that day. It's good. It's fine.
Yeah.
You do yours, and we don't need every single person on the North Shore coming to our festival. We couldn't.
As I say, you can't.
You couldn't. So we just want to support. We're stronger together. I think that's such a big.
It's a greater vision. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's true leadership and true visionaries. They have a greater impact. They want the holistic impact. They're not looking at a scarcity mentality.
And then you think about the people that you're employing. So they're employing musicians and artists and vendors, as well as Bluesberry or Three Rivers. We want everybody in our area and beyond to work and to have an opportunity, especially our musicians and our artists, because they're not given that opportunity very often.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so you're from Louisiana, born and raised, right?
Lafayette. Born in Lafayette, Louisiana.
So tell us your story. I know a lot more of her story. We've known each other for a long time, and I've always enjoyed spending time with you, but I know a lot more of her story than yours. So how did you come to Louisiana?
Okay, how I came to Louisiana. Well, I started out in England. I was born in England, in Dorset, which is just beautiful. Thomas Hardy country, rolling hills, one of 6. My parents ran a boys' boarding school. So I grew up with a lot of boys. Loved it. Had a great childhood. But it was a very small town. And I just was like, I got to get out of here. I moved to London, worked for, a few people. I worked for Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones when I was in London.
Very cool.
First time I came to America was with Mick Jagger. And I'm like, cool, this is cool. I want to be in America. So, I was waiting for someone to come with me and do it. And I'm like, no one, our times just don't line up. I'm just going to go. So off I go to California. And I worked.
You went all the way across the pond.
I went
across the country.
Yeah, I did. I went I was in New York when I was with, Mick Jagger. And that was like Andy Warhol time, Halton. It was like a crazy time. Had fun experiences. I'll write a book one day. Yeah. I can. And then I moved to LA and I worked in Hollywood. I worked as a personal assistant for Brandon Tartikoff, who ran NBC and Paramount Pictures.
Wow.
For Ivan Reitman, who was a director of Ghostbusters. And it was during that Ghostbuster time. So we traveled around the world and had this big, exciting life, but you don't have your own life. Mm-hmm. When you work for someone like that. So I moved here actually with the Tartikoffs. They had a child that had a very severe car accident, and we came here to rehab, and I met my husband here.
In New Orleans?
Yes. And so I met my husband here, and then, we got engaged. and I moved back to LA. But I was like, I don't want to raise a child here. I don't want to start a family here. Sadly, Brandon passed away from Hodgkin's the summer that we moved back to LA. So at that point, I was like, this, I'm going to move to, get married. We traveled back to England, had the big royal wedding. Well, I said to
Got
my
your crown.
yeah, I did. I had my crown. No, I didn't. But I was like, let's just go to Vegas. And my husband's like, no, my parents will kill me. And I'm like, okay, you have now created a monster.
Yeah.
I want the full-on wedding. My poor dad. So we got married in England, and then we moved back here to Louisiana. My husband's from here.
Yeah.
And I just was like, this is somewhere I wanted to, raise a child. And so I was blessed with a child, and we raised him here. And we moved back to England for 5 years when he was young, because I wanted him to see Europe and get an idea of somewhere else other than Louisiana.
Yeah.
Because you tend to
It's a good thing to do.
Yeah. So we traveled. He's been to so many different,
That's awesome.
countries and north of the Arctic Circle and all around Europe. So I wanted to give him that, experience so he knows that that's an option. Of course, he, stayed in state for college and moved back. So he's very Louisiana,
But
based.
it's such a different perspective when you get outside of the state. I mean, living and growing up in Texas and then being from England, I haven't left Louisiana a ton in my life. Going a couple places vacationing, but like actually meeting with people who are in business and spending time and making an impact outside of our community, you realize how much more you can do if you broaden your perspective, right? You can be the king of, Covington, but like that's such a small bubble, or king and queen of Covington, I guess. But it's such a small bubble compared to what you can do if you just get outside and see what type of impact you have. It like pushes you beyond the limits of what your mind has. And seeing that as a kid, I'm sure was hugely impactful for him.
I believe so. Yeah. I mean, it's just made him who he is today, that he's got all this life experience to pull on, and he can go where he wants and do. It's his path. It's funny as a parent, you go, they're going to do this, and I'm like, no, they write their own story. So, and I'm happy with that. So then moving back here, I just gave up my personal assistant career, because that wasn't something that sort of fit into Louisiana, and I went into publishing, and that's where I sort of found a path through various magazines until 9 years ago when I started Edge of the Lake magazine. Yeah. So I started that and then became partners and involved with North Shore Media Group, and now I'm part of that family, and I run the market here for North Shore Media Group, and
you do a great job. We love being a part of y'all, what y'all are doing.
Well,
all
we
the things y'all do.
appreciate your support. So it's it's good to be in a little family that's sharing stories. That's what we do. That's what you do here. It's like promoting things, sponsoring things, being part of events, telling stories.
And the more you spend time in that group, you realize how much, like there's a certain group of people right on this poster we're going to show you. It's a lot of the same sponsors that you see doing a lot of the stuff, but those are the people who are really giving back to our community. And I love like the fact that y'all do so much in Hammond and Southeastern, because that community, I think Southeastern is going to continue to grow, make an impact over there. So it's I like you find your people and that share values and people that you enjoy spending time with, and you tend to grow with them. So it's been fun. So let's talk about the festival. So when did the festival start, Bluesberry Fest, and what was the main purpose behind it?
So sure. So this is our 6th year, and Sarah and I met 15 years ago at Sophisticated Woman magazine. She was working with them, and so we kind of forged a relationship. And when she came and said she was going to do Edge of the Lake magazine, I was like, yes, you're right. So, I mean, that's phenomenal to just pick up and say, I'm going to start something new, and kind of scary too. For sure. Right. So we were having coffee and we were talking about what doesn't have a festival, right? Like what the peach has a festival, the strawberry has a festival. The blueberry does not have a festival.
It does not. I don't know.
No, it didn't. So it was like something we'd written about in the magazine, this poor blueberry not having, I mean, you think tomatoes or tomatoes or however you say it.
Maters. Take it to holy country, maters.
Yes, but it's watermelon, they all do, and the blueberry doesn't. So
well, I think I did a great spin on it.
Well, so we met for coffee and we were like, okay, if we're going to do this, art and music has to be a part of it, right? Like that's ingrained in both of us. So Bluesberry it is. And at the time, Sarah and I met, and then Sarah Federer and I were business partners with Synergy. So I was like, Sarah's got a rope. And let me tell you, that girl works harder than anybody I know. I don't know if anybody knows Sarah Federer, but oh my gosh.
Yeah, she was.
So-
She did a great
amazing.
event this weekend at Sarabella. So
She really did. And she is one to have in your corner for sure. So we three actually started the festival. When she got pregnant with her last baby, she said, you know what, I'm out.
Yeah.
And I understood it. We both did.
But we both cried.
We did.
Because it was perfect.
It was perfect. But, we got it. But Bluesberry as a whole, we just wanted to bring quality music with quality art and give people on the North Shore something that they would be proud of. Because we have to drive across a lake, think about it, to Jazz Fest, to He Who Shall Not Be Named. No, Gretna Fest, which is the same weekend. I'm kidding. Yeah. They have a great lineup. But we wanted to give the North Shore something that they could say, ooh, we have that. And it's always a great lineup. We try to bring people that are international or national so that it's not something that you can see on a Saturday night somewhere. Right. And then we try to bring Three Rivers quality artists so that when you walk in, you know that this is not like somebody's buying from China. It's good hand.
local art, yeah.
Yeah, right? Good local art. So that was really the crux of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think that Sarada just does such a great job with bringing in those musicians that you don't hear, and they have their own music, so they're not cover artists. Which we love a cover artist, but we wanted to have musicians that
truly
play their
supporting
own,
the art.
Yeah, that play their own music and give them a venue. And we've had such phenomenal acts over the years, and we're excited. And every year, right after the festival, I get that call from Sarada, and she's already working on it. What about this? And I'm like, send me the video. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're amazing. Can we get them?
Can we afford them?
Can we afford them first, and then can we get them?
Y'all are looking for people who have original music that are quality, that are not necessarily all local, but is it all like blues type of music?
It varies. So we have a country artist, and sometimes blues leans a little country anyway. So we have a country Americana. I know when we have Band of Heathens, that's a little Americana. Samantha Fish, absolutely straight up blues. So, those are we try to mix it just a little. Now, I'm not going to bring some alternative, although that's the music I listen to, alternative, band in that would just kind of throw off the vibe. But we try to stick to the country roots blues.
Yeah.
I bring in opera.
Yeah.
I love me some opera, but I just don't know.
Let's do it.
So the purpose the purpose of it is to bring the community together, quality music, quality art, and have people have a good time. So, and I just want to make sure this is y'all's perspective, because I enjoy the fact that it is not a festival where everybody's going to be waiting in long lines. It's not going to be a huge crowded place where you're like crammed in. It's a very much a family friendly event where you've got things for the kids, but there's just enough space out at the Bogafly Park where you can enjoy the music and sit in a chair, and you're not feeling like you're looking over people's shoulders, and it's just more of a laid back, fun atmosphere.
Well, I think we tailored it to be a boutique-y type festival. We never wanted it to be as crowded as a jazz fest, or, that's not our goal. Our goal is just that, to bring a nice crowd, right? We want our artists and our musicians to feel loved, but never to pack in 10,000 people where you couldn't move.
Yeah.
And
I can tell you, you accomplish that. every year we go, we always bring the arena team, and all of our
kids.
staff are open to it, and all of them bring their kids, and it's fun because we all have kids about the same age. I think the oldest one is Dylan, and she's 12, and then all the way down to a lot of our employees have newborns, and everybody brings the strollers. We all pack under the arena tent, and we get a couple of VIP tickets, and we all enjoy ourselves for the day. It's a good team building deal for us, and it's something that our families now are looking forward to. Not just like my immediate family, but our my cousins and my in-laws, they're all coming in to spend time, and it's cool because you don't it is something to do. We look forward to every year.
I think it's family friendly, as you said. You bring your parents. It's get a chair. You can sit under the trees and watch the music, drink some beer, have a great time. The kids, there's playgrounds. There's so many activities. One of our board members, Taylor Munn, she has put together the lineup of, people with face painting and activities, and the kids just love it. They do all these little art projects and activities, so they've got things to do. Plus the parks that are actually in the park. So there's room, there's space. If you want to go off in the corner and just sit and hang out,
have a picnic,
get a bottle of wine and just sit there, you can do that. Or you can be, towards the stage and there's more people there, but there's plenty of room.
You just reminded me last year, the lady who played last year, what was the headliner last year?
Oh gosh, I knew Allie
Venable.
She was so good.
Allie
Yeah.
Venable. So she was playing the guitar. She was
rocking
crushing
out.
it.
Yeah.
Dude, John's son.
We have so many great videos.
Trying to do the worm on the ground. But he not quite finishing the. So it was just like.
It was so good.
That's
on the front of the
amazing.
stage, she's rocking out. Like, it was entertaining too. So I don't want to paint the
Jane Ann
picture.
got up there.
Yeah, she was doing it too.
Jane
I don't want to
Ann
paint
got
the
in
picture. This is like a laid back, like slow type of event. Like these guys get up
They're
there and crush it. And, like, the music was
phenomenal.
fantastic last year.
Wait until you see Casey James. Now, Casey headlined for us our first year, but he tours with different bands like Texas Hill, then his own Casey James. And then it's crazy how these musicians all work. They kind of like, hey, let's put kind of like we collaborate. Hey, let's put together
little
this
jam sessions,
right? And then they're like, ooh, this really works. Let's go try this in Tennessee, kind of thing. But he called me and he was like, listen, we've got some really heavy hitters and I just want you to be prepared. And I'm like, okay, I'm prepared. Give me their names. And he's like, I'm going to leave that as a surprise. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. So here we have this guy who started his career on American Idol. I think like season 4. I don't know, but he was like third in line. So was a phenomenal talent, and now has several records, and he's great. I think you guys are gonna love him. We did JJ Mugler, who is a Louisiana band with their local gifts that they have, right? And Kevin and the Blues Groovers, we did him again because holy cow, have y'all seen the way that he plays with that piano and the crowd literally stands up. And he was one of our early bands early on. And I had so many people send me messages going, you have got to get him back because
that's great.
Oh my gosh. So we really do have some great people.
So let's talk about the event this year. So it's going to be Saturday, October the 4th.
October the 4th.
And what time? It starts at 10 o'clock. So doors open at 10. Music starts at 10?
Starts at 10.
Okay. And then,
I've always wanted to be Vanna White.
Yeah.
I like it.
Doing a great job. So how do people get tickets?
So they can go to thebluesberryfest.com and it says right on the front, get tickets.
Okay,
so
cool.
thebluesberryfest.com.
$30 a ticket.
And y'all are currently looking for people to sponsor the event and be a part of the sponsorship program, or is that ship of sail?
We always have sponsorship opportunities. The level now is lower because it's tickets and a tent space because we've already printed all of our print material, and we try to get people in early so that we can start marketing for them early.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that we do differently as a festival, I believe, is that the minute we have a sponsor that comes on, thank you Arena Collective, that comes on early, we're able to get them into any ads that we do. Anytime we're on TV, radio, for anything, we always want to say, Arena Collective, thank you so much for making this possible for us. So right now, this would be a tent space and lots of tickets.
Yeah.
But
and look, if anybody is thinking they want to be a part of it, and is it worth it? I can tell you that from the very beginning, which was 3 years ago that we started sponsoring, maybe longer than that. I mean, we truly do get the advertisement. We're on the posters. It's been 5 years. I don't know if we've been doing it for 5 years, but I think we've been doing it for
3 for us. Yeah.
3 for y'all.
5 total.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought it was.
We've been
looking
involved 5 total. 3 years ago.
Yeah. So we get the ad space, we get the tent, which the tent's great because, like I said, you put your tent up.
Your own setup.
You're on the VIP little grounds. You can go get cold beer if you want to have while you're there, and then you get that chance to be on the radio. Oftentimes we get asked to do that, and then if at a high enough level, you get to get on stage and introduce a band. And so all that's fun. I mean, every year we do it. We bring our kids up there and they get to, wave to the crowd,
awesome.
and they always love doing that. So you truly do. And I believe that your sponsors make the festival. If your sponsors get the value, they're going to continue to support it. And then that's how you continue to grow. And I think you'll do a great job of supporting the sponsors too.
And we could not do it without our sponsors.
No, we could not.
I know we don't have a big staff. We don't have a big budget. We rely on our sponsorships and our ticket sales to do this. So, Gulf Coast bank is our presenting sponsor this year, and they've just been phenomenal, and they just help us, and they do our VIP experience, which we have some tickets left for that. Hopefully when this airs, we'll still have some tickets left, but that's a great, because, you know, you get food, you get right by the stage, and you get, you know, food and drinks, and it's a great deal for people. So, but that, yeah, without our sponsors, we would not be able to do this.
And then the volunteers. I know that's important, right? The people who go into the event, the sponsors, the band, like the entertainment, and then the volunteers. Like what does volunteering mean, and what do you get from that, and why would people want to be a volunteer for Bluesberry?
Sarah, do you want to take this one? I
can totally take this one. I mean, it's just being part of the festival. I mean, you get to come and, you know, especially like students that need service hours, it's a great way of coming. And then you work a few hours, and then you get to stay and be at the festival. And it's different areas. There's lots of different areas that you can volunteer in. And so it's a great experience to see how a festival works, and see how backstage works, if that's something where you want to be, or the transport, or just the whole logistics of a festival, because hopefully we make it look easy. That's our goal, is is for everyone to have a great experience. Like, we really think about it, and sometimes we're discussing things and we like, okay, hold on, step back. What is our mission? And I think that's so important in any event or any board or with a company, is to just always remember, why are we here?
Yeah.
Because you can so go off and start thinking something else, and it's making money. It's not.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we here? Yes, we want to make money. We all do, because that's how the world goes round. But we want to support the community. We want to support our artists, our bands. We want to, people love to volunteer and be part of it. And I've got people that go, oh, my festival. And I'm like, I won't mention who it is, but they claim it. And I love that. And I love that. I mean, it's like they think it's their festival, because they volunteered every year, and they take ownership. And that is the biggest gift and the biggest compliment to us, that people volunteer year after year, sponsor year after year, and then people come year after year. And that's, that's the thing. And, of course we want to grow it, and, a little bit, but we want the customer experience always to be there.
Lauren talks about this a lot when she says that if you're just in it to make money, then you're going to have a hard time sustaining and being in business. You have to have a bigger purpose in that. Money can be one of the goals, but you can't just be your only goal. You have to have a bigger picture and a vision, and articulating that is important to be able to pull sponsors in and be able to pull volunteers. You have to have a good purpose and something people can get behind. Yeah. And I think that enough people in Louisiana love good music, and you have to travel a lot to get to that, especially a place where you can see your band after band after band in one day, and being part of a festival experience and bringing that to the North Shore. I think that people get behind that clearly.
We hope so. That's
we
what
hope
we
so.
hope.
And you helped us become a nonprofit last year, or was it last year?
Last year.
Yep. That's that's an important part of it for us, is to give back even more at the other end of it, just when the festival's over, to be able to give back and make a difference in children's life, and bringing the arts to them, because it's like it can be forgotten. It's like a luxury, but it's so it should be part of all the children's life.
Someone born with that creative spirit.
Yeah.
We have so many people on our team, and I love it, because I'm not made that way. So it's like I'm drawn to it as like a perfect compliment, so I just love them bringing their creativity to the table. And that's not even just in our marketing team. I mean, our partner, John, like musician and an artist. And then a beautiful mind that practices law. Like, he's an incredible soul to me. And I love when he brings that warmth to us.
Incredibly talented. Like, the first time I saw one of his paintings, I was like, you did this? Like,
I know.
That's amazing. Like, his work is amazing. And then when I got to hear him play, I'm like, seriously?
I
Like,
know.
all of that in
Full
there.
of talent.
And he's very like middle, like right brain, left brain. You got it, buddy.
He's our little unicorn.
You know what we should do?
He's
we
a
should do
unicorn.
2026. The second stage y'all have. We should do the arena band for like 20
We
minutes.
should. We have enough. We have enough.
Then
Could
yes,
we please?
We
You're
have
booked.
enough
You're booked.
talented musicians. I mean, I'm going to be the backup dancer, naturally.
I always wanted to be a backup
I'm the lead
singer.
singer.
I wanted to be
He is not. Luke is our
I can
abstracting
karaoke
attorney.
Do you know what out of some karaoke?
I always wanted to be the backup singer, just going like, shoop,
Yeah.
shoop. You know, that
Right,
little
right.
thing where you just stand there in a cute little dress.
You're hired.
And I just want to market y'all. That's what I want to do. I want
right,
to get people
done.
in. Is that good? I
You
can
don't want to
just
sing?
I have Madison for that.
Yeah.
She's my
Yeah,
biggest
that's
party
true.
trick
Which
ever.
she
She's
could
so
come in and
good.
sing because she was
That's
a part
right.
of the team at one
I
point,
know,
so
right.
fit-
She's
she
part of the
fit right in.
family.
Yeah,
For sure.
Maddie's
We could
awesome.
throw her up there. Y'all
So-
don't want me to sing, I promise.
Oh, you don't want me to sing, but I figured I could maybe do a show-up.
Because you're like us and you like to just throw everything in the all at the same time.
Yeah.
Right after this, you have something else that's coming up.
Yes.
Right. And so, which is one of Stephanie's favorite weekends of the entire year, which is Three Rivers Art Festival. So
Yes.
I don't want, obviously, Bluesberry is what we're pushing right now. We want people to go to that. But
Right.
behind that in November, we have the art show. So
November
tell us
15th and 16th this year.
about that. Okay.
And it's from 10 to 5, Saturday and Sunday, downtown Covington. I bring 200 artists in from across the
Wow.
United States. We have 27 states represented this year, which is phenomenal. And, we close 5 blocks of Covington, on Columbia, and line the streets with artists. And we make sure that people also get to see the wonderful businesses that we have on Columbia as well and downtown. But we're able to bring about 50 to 60,000 people through in 2 days. So
Insane. And I want to like reiterate how high quality the artists are. How many people sign up to be a part of it?
So we have 500 artists that apply and only 200 places to fill.
Yeah.
So we have to tell 300 people that they can't attend. But
It's juried.
It's,
you-
it's a juried.
That's a big thing.
For sure.
I think it's not like first come. It's juried.
No,
and
this
that
is-
weekend would be.
Yeah, this is a juried show. I have a panel of 3 jurors and then one that heads the jury. We sit in a room for 8 hours and go through slides for 500
Wow.
people. And when I tell you it's the score of 1 to 10, and the best of the best by the time you finish with that, it really is a tedious thing. But I've also been able, over the past 15 years, I've been able to walk artists through how to apply for a jury. What do jurors look for? How would you best present your work to be accepted into a juried show? So there's so much that goes into it. It's not just, let me take a picture of something hanging on my wall. Your pictures have to be professionally done. Your booth shot is huge. Like there's just so many things that go into this. And then it's a marriage between the artist and the city, because the city also has to be represented well. And I'm going to say this. Before I started working for the city, I was a little one-sided, where it was all about my art. It was my artists are paying to be here. They're traveling from, Missouri to get here. So you better move on over and give them space. And over the years, I learned that it is truly a marriage and that we're doing this for economic development.
Yeah.
And if it's not bringing something to the city, why do it?
Yeah, sure.
Not having the impact,
that was
yeah.
a big, that was a huge eye opener for me too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it likely pushes the artists who are usually creative minded, that aren't necessarily the most business minded people, to actually have an intentional plan. We talk a lot about businesses and they lack an operating system, or they lack the right mindset. And those 2 things are important. And the operating system includes, like, what are your values? What's your purpose? Who are you trying to impact? Who are you trying to attract? And you
That
have
mission that she was talking
what-
about,
what-
that
what-
keeps you intentional.
Exactly. And so in order for you to be able to present yourself to somebody and get an opportunity, you have to have your ducks in a row. And I'm sure that people might not think of it in that way, but you're pushing them and pressuring them to actually come up with a plan and know who they're speaking to, and making sure that their person is going to be at the festival, but also that you align with the same values that they have. All that's super important from any business owner.
It is. And it even moves further than that. So I have 2 artists. I have Dusty Reed and Anna Onderkane, who do classes for artists that teach them how to move outside of their booth. So artists have this thing where they want to create and then they want to sit behind their tent, and they don't want to talk to anybody, and they just want you to look at their art, and if you like it, buy it. She and both of them teach them how to move into their booth, engage people. And then what do you do after you do that? What do you do after you've made a sale? How do you, follow up? So all of that follow up that we've learned in real estate that was so important, and your contact management and all of that goes into what they're teaching. And I think that's,
I love that.
phenomenal
Sustainable
too.
business.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's funny how
Colette doesn't have that problem. Colette's dancing outside of her booth, bringing people in.
She'll be in the festival.
She's
So
amazing.
Everything is Colette out there. What
Yeah,
is-
yeah.
I
She's
love
using the
it.
building as her gallery right now.
I love that. I was like, did you guys, this is amazing.
Yeah.
She has some
We got her
great
for a
stuff.
year. We're already a month in, but few pieces I don't think we'll be able to get
Yeah,
rid
we're
of.
not going to. You know, I didn't fall in love with real original art until I got one of Marianne Rodriguez's original pieces.
Right.
And she's from, and then Becky Foss is also, I love her stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, like the line that we have here was one of her pieces that was an inspiration to not only my family, because we bought that as like something for my son to kind of mesh with the courage and bravery of that, even though we have a lot of feminine traits in our house with all the girls we have. But then for our firm, like the line is a part of our logo, and it was all kind of inspired by that all coming together. So I fell in love with original art, and so I feel blessed to have all this at the office. It's great. And then getting to see all the talented artists that we
I
get
think
to see at
people
Three Rivers.
want to buy from people that they get to know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it means if I see a painting that I love, but it's like, oh, I like that. But if I hear talk to you and hear about your story, and then you just have that buy-in and that connection that I think they do so much better if they will
no
communicate. But I mean, some artists, it's hard. They
is
don't
hard.
want to.
It is.
But
But
I love going to Three Rivers. It's like that's where my husband and I go buy our Christmas gift to each other at Three Rivers every
Yeah.
year.
Oh,
It's
I
like,
love
let's
that.
go. And we're like, okay, we don't know what we're going to get. And we go and we find something. We're like, okay, that's what we get.
It's so
Some
funny you
piece
say it
of
that
art.
way. Yeah, I have Shelley Brown who did that one behind you. We have a close relationship with her and her story. Marianne Rodriguez, I spent a lot of time with her and her husband, and they have an awesome
love
story.
them.
And then Colette has a cool story.
Yeah.
And Becky we've done stuff with Becky, and she's her story is phenomenal too. So you're right. It does. You create a relationship with them, and they're such a big part of your family. Like I look at Marianne's piece of art in my house every day, and my kids
Right.
do too. And it's awesome whenever you get to know people. And I think the festival is a great opportunity for you to do that.
So for artists too, they don't think about this often, but we have one artist that left Three Rivers to do a complete hotel, curate the whole entire art scene in hotels nationwide.
Wow.
That was huge. And then another one left and went to anthropology and is doing like the wallpaper and, you know, all of those things. And that's just, you know, somebody was walking down the street and said, I really love that. And let me connect you with this person. And it was just crazy. But I think that all of this brings us back to every business, in my opinion. We all have to have creativity in order to bring people in the door. We all have to be personable so that somebody wants to do business with us, right? Like you have to like me to want to do business with me. And I think that contact management and follow-up is huge. And I think that all of that goes with every business, and artist is hard to get them to understand that.
But it's funny. You have doctors and lawyers and artists and musicians and really all those people who are really good at their job. They oftentimes struggle with the other side of business, and so it's fun to talk about it and spend time with people who get it. And then it's fun to see people have the light bulb go off in their brain when they understand what you're saying and how to actually do it at a high level based on their own personality, right? Not necessarily making them all fit in the box of the salesperson, but doing it in their own unique way and being able to bend and mold themselves into being that type of person while also being a talented artist or musician or whatever they do.
The other part, I know that we were talking before we really started, and Lauren, you were talking about getting constantly asked to be on boards and to volunteer and to, sponsor. And I know that that's a struggle. It's a struggle for everyone. How do you feel about like what you do in the community for Arena?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure you guys get asked 20 times a day.
Where our average was 16 sponsorship requests a week.
We have a whole section of our meeting where we just spend time
each
going
week,
over all
every
the
single
things,
week.
but we are very intentional about how and why. And people often ask, how are y'all everywhere? Well, we're everywhere.
want to be.
We're everywhere where our
we
ideal
care.
client is. And the only, somebody asked me the other day, it's like, how are you everywhere? I'm like, you see me everywhere because you're my ideal client and I'm speaking to you. But I guarantee if I go talk to that person in that booth over there, they're going to have no idea who I am because they're not my ideal client. That's fine.
And even yes and no to that, right? Because there's still those moments where something comes in and we absolutely know that it's not our ideal client, but we want to support the person that sent it to us, right? And it goes back to the original mission. And I feel like you tied it in so well just now, expressing how this one event helps people turn their passion into a business. That is our purpose. We exist so that we can have the greatest possible impact on our local ecosystem, right? Our community means everything to us. I grew up, both my mother and father had businesses. Like, that was life. It wasn't like, oh, are you going to support an event in the community? We just did it because that's how you build relationships. And that's how you help create a better system for your kids and your grandkids that are coming. And so we established that as our purpose. So when people ask us and they're confused while we're doing all these things that a law firm doesn't typically do, and it's like, because we're not built like you. One, I don't exist to be a lawyer. I love being a lawyer because it is a way that I'm able to impact lives and help people. But it truly just gives us access so that we can sit there and turn those passions into businesses, giving more opportunity to our kids. And so if we're showing up, making that impact every day, it makes it easy to say, yes, we're here and we're going to help you, Sarada, because Sarada is going to impact all of these artists. Because I don't know, Walt might want to be an artist in the future. You never know, right? And even if it's not something personal, like, humans thrive off of relationships. And so when you're watching somebody else smile, you're going to be more at peace. You're going to be happier. So if you remove that element of it being a selfish intention or a business intention and you just live life in the best way that you can, you're going to see that positive impact come back to you.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
But is it exhausting? Yes. Yes, it is. And, also on our law firm, we get a lot of people coming in wanting to create these nonprofits. And so I find that it's my duty for us to be involved at the level that we are. So when we find out what passion they have and what they want to support, we can direct them to something that exists. And it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes they do need to start something new, but we always like to connect them with those like-minded things that we talked about, right? And see if collectively they can collaborate and have an even greater impact than the small amount of business that they're doing. And we're also blessed with, the North Shore Community Foundation. Like, to have them available to these young individuals or inexperienced individuals that have a passion, want to have a nonprofit, but we all know that they're not ready to run that board, run that fund, and to have that resource, it's incredible. So I feel blessed that our community, there's so many of us that are invested in collaborating and giving back to one another, that's why we keep going full circle. And that's why we keep winning, right? That's one thing they can't say about St. Tammany is I come here and I have nothing to do. When people say that to me, I want to lose my mind.
Me too.
Like,
Me
I've
too.
traveled a lot and I loved my experiences, overseas in different countries. I haven't made every continent, but I'm working on it. But you cannot say more about the stuff that we have available in St. Tammany Parish.
And we have two things that are for young entrepreneurs right now. So the North Shore Foundation, which is wonderful, and then Palette.
Yeah.
Palette is there to support people that are just starting out and allowing that growth, which is huge.
Or helping them grow and helping them just with so many different
Resources,
elements and resources.
Not reinventing the wheel.
Yeah, there's no way that you.
That's right.
You just don't realize what you need when you go. I'm going to start a business, and
there's really no excuse. And go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that on my side, so for Three Rivers, right? I have Madison, who is now taking kind of the reins and is learning everything that she needs to take the ball and run with it. And I hope that everybody does that they bring the young people up with them, because I'm not going to be around forever, right? And I can't hold on to that, my little piece of the pie, and say, oh, it's mine. I need to train people and get people involved. And I think that sometimes we find that. And sometimes that's why those younger people are looking for things, because my generation is going, oh, but that's mine. We need to learn to go
mentor the next generation,
yes,
and show them.
It's succession planning.
Yes,
we run into that problem every single day. We're creating a whole nother leg of our business that just happened because, again, you see a need and you want to fill it. But business succession planning is something that's not happening, and we're seeing this huge transition of wealth that started years ago, and it's going to continue for the next couple of decades. So we have to be prepared for it in our community, because it's those businesses that have been supporting the community in all these events and foundations.
Yes.
That's right.
As long as we've been living. So if that business dies without somebody taking it over, you're losing that support.
That's right.
And so we have to be invested in that.
Which is
that
two
planning.
sides of that coin, right? The business owners have to have a plan and have the humility to know they're not going to be able to do it forever, and somebody probably can come in and take it to the next level if they let them. And the second thing is the young people have to understand that you have to come in and earn it. You have to show your value, make sure that you understand and you align. Have humility yourself to be able to say, I'm going to do this somebody else's way until I earn myself the ability to make an impact. And both of those things play into it. And you know, a lot of times the business owner kills the opportunity because they are not humble enough to know and they're scared to let go. And then the other half of the time, the young person kills it because they don't understand the patience and the waiting of how long it takes to earn something.
Lack
like
of
that.
grit.
Yeah.
Right.
Lack of patience, lack of grit.
Both of those things.
Show up.
You'll either have somebody who wants to go faster and thinks that immediately they deserve it and they're entitled to it, or they're not willing to go through the hard parts of business that we've all gone through or we're going through to try to get out on the other side.
So if I'm a business owner and I know, hey, look, I'm going to be transitioning into this, you know, trying to pull somebody new in, whether it's family or someone else, do they call you and just say, hey, look, this is where I am?
You have another
Yeah.
hour to talk about this?
I usually start with like, tell me all the issues that you're having, right? And that's honestly how this business even developed to our business advisory services that I focus on. Because they come to you with a legal problem and we can solve that legal problem, but practically we can avoid that if you just have a better operating system. Or if you want to transition your business and you don't know where to start, like you have to have system and processes so that you can train. Kind of like when you were listing a house and you're like, all right, we got to paint this wall and get this carpet cleaned. That's what I'm going in and doing with a business so that they can then transition it. So it usually starts with just dump your problems and then we'll start seeing, you know, what you're missing in your system.
That's amazing.
The fun part is when a business comes early on when they're getting started and we can help them establish that from the beginning and create the foundation, because a lot of business owners are just really good at their job and they don't have the foundation set. And the foundation's simple, right? It's setting value, setting a purpose, setting an ideal client. When you create the foundation of what you're doing, then you can build everything on top of that and expand and grow and find opportunities that fit your purpose, and you filter it through your values and you make sure it's impacting your ideal
Decision-making
client.
boundaries.
Yeah. So
Because good entrepreneurs are squirrely.
I
We
love
see a lot of
that.
squirrels everywhere.
This
That's
is
interesting.
fantastic.
if people don't have that and they're looking to transition, we help them. They usually do have it. They just haven't articulated it, and they don't have it written down. So whenever they walk away,
They can't
everything
express
walks
it to
away
the new
with them,
person.
and the next person doesn't know who's truly impacting. And you know, from that standpoint, if you're a business owner who has a certain ideal client that you've built relationships and you have a foundation community around, and you bring somebody else in who's not part of that community already, it sometimes takes longer when you can look in that community to find somebody to make an easier transition, right? So there's a lot of things you can think about, but usually we get it, hey, I'm ready to retire, I'm going to give this to my kid or this person, and we're like, what?
Next week.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Tomorrow.
Let's
They
step
do.
back and let's think about this first. It might take some time, and you're going to have to invest some money into making that decision. But it's and you asked a second ago, and Lauren did a good explanation of the theory behind it. Practically, whenever we're looking at who we're going to invest in, we base it off of our ideal client. So we filter that through our process, and the first thing is our ideal client going to be present? Are they going to be impacted by this community support that we're giving? Yes or no? If the answer is no, well, does it impact our community? Yes or no? And even if it might not be our ideal client, it might be a community that part of our community we want to support. If it doesn't meet those two criteria, we're either going to say no, which we do often, or we're going to say
We just give a little bit.
We'll give the bottom. Like you might have your lowest might be a $500 offer, but we're going to give you $100 and say we're supporting your cause. We don't need anything for it. We just want to give back to you. And sometimes if they meet the two criteria, and we still may not, we still may say we budgeted for this. We didn't budget for this year, but we'll do it next year. But we'll still give you a small amount. Just come back next year, and we hope people have the patience to say they're running a business and they're going to support me next year, and come back next year and ask. We've had that conversation about the magazine, right? We budget that every year. We're going to give you this much. If next year you want to talk to us about something else, we can. But this year, this is what we're sticking to. So that's part of the operating system that we try to teach business owners to operate within.
I've talked to a number of artists because they all, they have the same thing. They get asked all the time, oh, can you give me a painting from my auction? Can you give me a painting for, whatever the thing is? Just setting out a yearly plan. Okay, I'm going to give away 12 pieces of art, 6 pieces, 1, whatever it is, and just really have a plan, because you get asked all the time. People, as you say, they see that you support things, they come to you. They'll come to us at the radio station, always. Can you sponsor this? Can you sponsor? So yeah, it's having a plan and going, okay, this is what we can do this year, and we can't do this year. Come to us next year.
This year, we'll do it next year.
And we'll look at it and consider.
Yeah, you don't
it
harbor resentment. You're at peace because you've already made the decision. I mean, that's really what it is. It's the indecision fatigue that people hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you set out a plan, it's much more comfortable.
And you just stick with it.
Yeah.
And it's
But new artists, I get that question a lot too. Though they're worried about giving stuff away, and I'm like, do you want to do paid ads on Facebook, or would this event expose you to 2,000 people?
That's right.
Because they're going to highlight you on stage. Like sometimes that gift is the cheapest marketing that you possibly can do. So
100%.
everybody's
Yeah.
at a different stage, you
But
know.
you have to take advantage
their
of it. You
career.
can't just give and walk away. If it's a business
Show
decision,
up.
you give
Talk
it,
to them.
you show up, and then you put on social media that you're doing it, and
Yeah.
like and
Yeah.
and you can look at it like, well, I'm just gonna humbly, quietly give, and I'm just gonna make that as that's fine. But also, you
Get some
have the right
content.
to collect and benefit from the gift that you're giving to somebody else. The more you give to the world, the more it's going to give back to you. And if you're doing that, you just, it's okay to let people know that you are supporting the community.
I can't tell you how many times people will give and say, oh, this is great. What do I get for this? And I'm like, this is what you get. But the biggest thing is that I'm going to put you in front of 50,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
So if you stand in your tent, right, and you sit behind a chair and you don't engage, you're not going to get
on
anything
you.
out of it. However, if you do raffle or gift or come see what we had, let me take your name and number and this is what we're going to do, or email, or whatever the case may be. The problem is that people just give the money and then they're tired at the end of the week and they're like, yeah, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do it. If you're going to do that, don't give.
100%.
In terms of if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking to get something out and you're going to stay home, don't do it.
That's right.
Not gonna work. Well, cool. I'm really excited. Go to Bluesberry October 4th. Get your tickets. You got 1 week away.
Last time.
This is your wife. I'm looking forward to have our new piece of art to put on our wall, because we're going to add another one to our wall once the posters are come out.
Yes.
And then Three Rivers Art Festival, November 14th to 15th.
15th and 16th.
15th and 16th, downtown Covington on Columbia Street.
Yes.
I will definitely be there, and I'm looking forward to
And
it.
Jesus will be
you.
at Bluesberry.
Right.